Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Welcome to the worst writer in the world with me, Rufus, and I've got a picture of him on my wall. He's got 4 legs and a tail, and his name's Dansford Blue. It's
Howard Long.
It's immediately contradicted what I said.
Yeah.
I mean, I said his name's Dansford Blue.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's it, but when I take my glasses off, everyone can see that I'm a horse. But when I put them on, no one knows. No one knows. They're confused. I mean,
That gives Lois Lane a shock.
I mean, that's what they expect people, that's what the writers of comics expect people to believe, isn't it, though? That, like, if a horse puts a pair of glasses on you, you don't know it's Super Horse anymore.
No, literally, because Superman is another species. Like, he's actually another species, right? But it put a pair of glasses on an alien, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's a reporter." It's fine. It's fine. If he was a little green man with a big bulbous head, that'd be funnier, right?
Yeah, that would. Yeah.
And you've pointed this out to me before, that it's kind of superhero movies. Like, one of the, I mean, you know why they do it. Obviously, they're visual medium, but they should all be about weedy little people who have superpowers. The fact that they're all buff and huge and can beat people up, you're like, well, yeah, big buff people can beat people up. No
Anyway,
surprise
yeah,
there.
yeah.
But if it was just some weedy little person who had laser eyes, they'd be like, "Oh, that's surprising. Hey, look, that tiny man just lifted up a car. That's superpowers. Not that big buff guy punched someone and now they're dead." Yeah, that's reality. And so if Superman was a little green alien with a big bulbous stomach and a massive light bulb shaped head and spindly little arms,
Yeah.
right? And then he turned up and started beating up General Zod,
Yeah.
who looks human.
That's Terrence Stamp.
Flying around and lifting cars and jumping over tall buildings and stuff, right? And then he put glasses on and Lois Lane's like, "Hey, Clark, do you want to go out on a date? Do you want to go out on a date?"
Yeah. And Ant-Man should be called Man-Ant, shouldn't he? Because clearly Ant-Man is a big ant-shaped man, right? Does that make sense?
I'm not thought about it in great detail, and I don't want to, right? But my instinct is to go with no. No, that doesn't make sense, Howard. He should be called Man-Ant, because Ant-Man is a big ant-shaped man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, for some reason, I just can't be bothered.
Yeah,
to
it's too much work, right? Yeah, no, fair enough.
for no return.
Let's just
whatsoever,
let's
no
both
benefit.
agree that I'm very wrong and move on.
No. Let's surprise people by agreeing that you're correct.
Hey!
Go on, if we're going to agree to something without thinking about it, we might as well go for the ridiculous thing. That's what everyone else does. So, absolutely, Ant-Man should be called Man-Ant, because otherwise he's got to be a big ant-shaped man. But Man-Ant, that's fine, just be a normal human.
Yeah,
It's
'cause
fine
he's a
if he's a
man.
normal human.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
It does, though.
No,
If you try really hard not to think about it or don't look at it, whatever you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I try not to think about it and just nod and don't listen to what you're saying,
So,
then the answer's yes.
A watched man-ant never boils. So
Isn't Man-Ant an ant who's been bitten by a radioactive man? I mean, if we're going with Spider-Man rules, because he's a man bitten by a radioactive spider.
yeah, but he's not man spider, is he?
No, but he's not a spider who's been bitten by a man. So Man-Ant is, you see, like the second word, Spider-Man, he is a man. He is the second word, and he's been bitten by the first word, right? That's how Spider-Man works. So, and like Iron Man, he's a man who's been bitten by some iron. right? We know that's how those things work. So man-ant has to be an ant who's been bitten by a radioactive man. That follows Spider-Man rules.
I guess so. As a child, I just thought that Iron Man was some kind of feminist who did the ironing instead of your wife. I guess that's a...
You thought that, did you, as a child?
As a
Sit
child.
around wondering, thinking about Iron Man. You know what I think? I think a carefully constructed joke about Iron Man. That's my opinion on the matter as a child. Might tweet about that later. Might claim that my 8-year-old kid said it.
I thought his middle name was Ingboard.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I thought that Iron Man was someone who wore a really hot metal suit.
Yeah.
And after you did your laundry, it came around and rolled around on your clothes to make them flat.
Yeah. He does flatten a lot of things in those movies.
And interestingly, his suit is not made out of iron. So maybe that's the reason. He's not. Everyone thinks, he's called Iron Man because he wears a suit.
Yeah.
But that he's not called Suit Man, is he? He's not called Flying Magic Suit
not
Man.
called that, no.
It's called Iron Man because he flattens things. That makes a lot of sense, right?
He's also got that. Hasn't he got a light on him, kind of like an iron does, to let you know whether it's hot or got water in or something?
Yeah. Well, his suit is sometimes full, and if humans are 80% water, then it is mostly full of water, right? So that light comes on to show and humans are warm. So it comes on to show that the iron suit is both full of water, also known as Tony Stark, and hot, because he is hot as well, right?
Yeah, a lot of people would agree.
As elderly men go, I would say Robert Downey Jr. pretty fucking hot.
Yeah.
So this week we've got a mixed bag of Howard's nuts. That's what we got going on this week, with several short things from from an array of Howard's English books, both from middle school and several from primary school. All right, so shall we get started, Howard?
Yes, please.
All right, so I have an English book. It says English, Mr. Cotton, 1C. That makes you 11, right?
Brilliant.
And you have written a play.
Yeah.
It's a pretty short play, two pages of an exercise book, but it is a play, and it's called The Quarrel. Does American English use the word quarrel, or is that just a British thing? I've got no idea if Americans say quarrel.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I don't know. It means, in case you don't, or in case any of the people listening don't, a quarrel is a type of teacher who has Voldemort on the back of his head. So you want to be careful about them. And Howard invented him, and then J.K. Rowling stole it.
That's right.
No, it's an argument, right? Quarrel is an argument.
Yeah, and normally they last longer than 2 pages, so obviously...
It's a short one. It's a quarrelette.
Yeah.
So there's 3 characters: Bet, Bill, and Frank. Bill. No, my name's Bill. Okay. Bet, what's the time? Shut up.
Wow.
That's her first line. Shut up.
Well, I don't know how to start arguments properly, do I?
Shut up. Go on, tell me. Just go away and leave me and Frank alone. I'll tell Mum. Oh no, I'll tell Mam what you were doing yesterday.
Oh, I see. I thought with names like that they were adults.
Yeah. With names like Bill, Bet, and Frank, it really did seem like they were adults, right? Even when we were kids, those were adult names. We didn't hang out with people called Bill and Frank, did we? No. Here's Arthur and Wilfred. Yeah. It's like, no, these are granddad
You
names.
met my friend Horace? I guess that so I think that Bill and Bet, because they've both got B names, are probably brother and sister. He's the annoying younger brother, and she's the older sister, and she's like been giving hand jobs to Frank.
Frank, yeah.
And that's not allowed.
Bill says, "I'll tell Mum what you were doing yesterday." That seems like a little brother thing, right? Yeah. No, I'll tell Mum about what you were doing with your hand on Frank's penis yesterday. Bet says, "Ooh, you saw?"
Yeah.
No, I did see it. Well, no. And then Frank says, "Come on, back to bed."
Oh, wow.
That's another reason why it seems like they're old characters, right? Because, come on, back to bed. Right, now that's weird. So, no, I'm not sure what's going on.
Where are they? Where is this set? Are they in the bedroom?
Where are they? How old are they?
Yeah.
Who are they? What's their relationship to each other?
Yeah. I mean, like, you could just tell him the time and then he'd go away. But, I mean, if he's coming to your bedroom, you're kind of like in the middle of shagging and like...
Yeah. What time is it? Get off. Go away. Fucking hell. Come on, back to bed. Bill saw yesterday, Frank. Frank jumps out of bed, grabbing Bill by the ear.
He's only got one?
Yeah. Ouch. Let go. Better not tell your mam or I'll murder you.
Fucking hell.
Bill kicks Frank and runs down the stairs. Come here, you squid. Squirt, okay. Come here, you squid.
No context.
You
Finally,
octopus.
I understand what's going on here. This is a family of squids.
Bill balks into the toilet, locking the door
Balks
behind.
into it.
Bill balks into the toilet, locking the door behind him. I think it might say darts.
No, it says
Like
balks.
darts into the toilet.
I think you can balk into a toilet.
He balks straight into that toilet. I'm going to balk into the toilet. You won't be able to beat me up, will you, Frank?
Did you see how fast he balked?
Betty, he's balked into the toilet. Oh, he's always balking into that toilet. Okay. Frank says, "Come out." No. If you don't open up, I'll kick the door down.
Jeez.
Shove off. Now, interestingly, as I've observed, your teacher, every now and again, your teacher wakes up and corrects something.
Yeah.
But usually right next to something else that he doesn't correct. What Bill says here is shove off.
Yeah.
Right? And your teacher has noticed that you've written off with one F.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's written the second F in for you. He hasn't noticed somehow that you've written shove with a U. Right? SHUVE.
Yeah.
Shuv of. Shuv of. Shove off. Bill pushes in front of front. Frank, okay. Bill, Bet. Okay. Oh, fine. The thing is, Bet and Bill look really similar to each other as well, so that's confusing me.
What, like, physically?
Like they're brother and sister, you know.
Yeah. They're twins, identical twins, of course. As we know.
I tell you what, Bill wants to be very careful about borrowing her necklace.
Yeah.
Frank might get confused.
I mean, usually when Bill locks himself in a toilet, he's locked himself in there with Bet, and they are swapping necklaces, aren't they?
Or what he saw yesterday was Frank getting naked, and they're like, "Come on then, Bet." And he's like, I'm Bill, I just borrowed her necklace.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, he saw a penis, and he was like, "What's a penis?" And he went home to his witch, and he was like, "This person was naked, they had a penis. What's one of them?"
Bet pushes in front of Frank and says, "Ooh, let me handle this, Billy." Mm-hmm. Oh, no. Let me handle this. Billykins. Want a chocky? I think Bill might be a dog. All right, I think Bill might be a talking dog.
Yeah, talking dog.
And the talking dog, like they didn't realise he's a talking dog, so they're like, he's like, "Can the dog stay in here when we're nailing?" Mm-hmm. And Betty's like, Betty says, "Oh, I don't see why not. He's not going to tell anyone, is he?" And then after they finish, he's like, "No, I'm going to tell people. Actually, I'm going to tell your mum that you were nailing, and then you'll be sorry, won't you?" Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, he can talk, fucking hell."
Give him a jockey.
Yeah, because if you give chocolate to dogs, they die, right? And but they like it, and so that's what Betty's up to. She's trying to murder the dog so it won't tell anyone.
Yeah.
This all makes sense now.
Yeah, it does. Now you've decided that it's a dog based on the idea that someone's giving it chocolate, which you don't do to dogs. And then you're like, "Oh, hold on a second, it kills them. They're trying to murder a dog." Yeah.
But that fits in with what's happening in the story. Yeah. So even though it may seem like I said something really stupid, actually it all works together like a clever plot, and I planned it all along.
It's fantastic. Yeah, I liked it.
Want a jockey? Bill opens the door and sticks his hand out. "Cough up. Here you are." She pulls him out and flings him over her shoulder. Never mess with karate champions.
Wow.
I mean, she pulls him out and flings him over her shoulder. That is something you could do with a dog. Like, you know,
Yeah.
Fling it over your shoulder, front legs over the back of your shoulder. It's looking over, it's looking behind you.
It is.
That's a way that you can carry a dog. Mm-hmm. Don't know why you have to be a karate champion to do that, though.
Yeah, me neither. It seems like she's suggesting that this is what happens when you mess with the karate champion. That doesn't seem that bad, does it? Getting a lift.
Here's a new reading for you. Got a new reading for you. Mm-hmm. All right. So he's a dog. We know that much.
Yeah, because of the chocolate.
She's trying to murder him with chocolate.
Yeah.
But he's wary because she's done that to him before. She's murdered him with chocolate before. So he's like, no, I'm not going to get murdered again. And so he opens the door, puts his
paw out. Yeah.
Yeah, it does say hand, but the writing's very bad. It could say paw. Or maybe you were just so young you didn't know the word paw and you was like, that's not your voice. He puts his dog hand out. Puts his dog hand out.
Dog hand, yeah.
And she pulls him out, flings him over her shoulder, and then she says, never mess with karate champions. That's just random advice she's giving. Right. She's not a karate champion. She's just like, while you're here, I've been meaning to tell you. I know you seem the type to mess with karate champions. I reckon if you were in the Karate Kid, you'd be messing with those you'd be the Karate Kid. And to be honest, in reality, there's not one magic kick you can do to win a karate contest.
Especially with your short, hairy legs.
How are you going to balance on a stick with one foot?
Yeah, you'll just want to eat it and chase after it.
So, Betty says, never mess with karate champions. Bill, quick thinking, shouts, look, pointing at nothing.
That's hard. How do you even do that? I mean, there's always something, isn't there?
Yeah.
It's like point. There's like clearly like a black hole opened up, and he's like.
I mean, we don't know where they are. Maybe they're floating around in the void while this scene is going on. Mm-hmm. We know there's a bed there, but apart from that, they could live in a nothingness world.
There's a bathroom because Bill balked into it, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he did balk.
Bill balked into the bathroom.
But this is weird because I think you've missed a stage. So Bill, quick thinking, shouts, "Look!" pointing at nothing. Then Frank says, "Rats! He tricked us!" And then in brackets after that, by now Bill has ran to his mam.
I mean, just saying "look" doesn't mean you get away, especially if you're already on someone's shoulder and they're holding you.
Yeah, and you're a dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of other stages to a dog escaping.
There's got to be 10 of them for a start. Someone's got to leave the gate open. 2 of them have got to go into a dog murdering shop.
2 in a dogly house. Got to go to the dogly house. All right. Bill says, "Mum, you know, yesterday, Bet and Frank, they were playing tiddlywinks."
Knew it.
But I mean, that sounds like a euphemism, right?
True.
Like, do you mean they were fucking? No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just, you said I'm not allowed to say fucking. You're not allowed to say fucking. You're grounded.
Yeah, they taught him a word for what it was, so he wouldn't say any rude words.
Or he didn't know what they were doing. So, like, when he walks in, he's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And they're like, "We're just, we're playing tiddlywinks. Don't tell your mum, will you?"
Yeah.
"Mum, they were playing tiddlywinks." That's fine, to be honest with you. That's fucking fine. "Oh, can I play tiddlywinks?" You can do what you want. Can I play tiddlywinks with you? No, fuck off. What's wrong with you? No, there's a lot of confusion going on in this scene. Bet and Frank, they were playing tiddlywinks. Not a euphemism, they were actually playing tiddlywinks. That's nice, Bill. Isn't it time you were in bed, dear? Brackets from backstage. After all that, I thought he was telling about the money. Oh, so did I. Bet and Frank leave the house. Oh, yeah, Mum, what's that paper Bet and Frank took from your biscuit tin?
Oh, shit.
That's the end.
Oh, wow. So he doesn't know what money is then?
But he does know what tiddlywinks is. But he thinks that tiddlywinks is something terrible that people shouldn't be allowed to do.
Yeah.
And that if you see people playing tiddlywinks, you've got to tell your mam.
Yeah.
Oh, and also, by the way, they stole all your money. Less importantly than playing a tiddlywink.
Yeah, but they stole her money out of a biscuit tin whilst they were in bed, by the sounds of it. Because that's what everyone got annoyed about. It's like, I'm going to tell Mum what you did in bed the other day, right? Is that true?
No, I'll tell Mum what you were doing yesterday, and then afterwards Frank says, "Come on, Bet, back to bed." They were, while the conversation's going on, they were fucking.
Yes.
But then, like, Bill turns up and he's like, "No, stop fucking for a minute. I'm going to tell Mum what you did yesterday when you were playing Tiddlywinks."
Yeah.
"Oh, no, don't do that. Whatever you do, don't tell him about the Tiddlywinks." But no, because Frank thinks he's going to tell Mum that they stole money. No one is concerned that they're fucking. No one is worried about that.
No. And why are they playing Tiddlywinks? They don't seem like the type of people that play Tiddlywinks. Not in bed. Oh, it doesn't have to be in bed, does it? That's where I keep getting confused. It's just in like...
Who plays Tiddlywinks in bed? You need a hard surface for a start.
Yeah.
You'd have to get like a wooden board in your bed, and that's going to make it uncomfortable. How are you going to fuck then? This bed's covered in Tiddlywinks. I can't get comfortable. All right, so this is from your primary school book when you were writing this when you were 7 and 8, and it doesn't have a title; it just has the date at the top, and it says Norman has a big mouth to fit 6 buns in.
Wow.
And he never forgets to close the gate behind him.
Are they connected, those two statements?
That's the 2 sentences in one paragraph, and that's the whole story about Norman. Norman has a big mouth to fit 6 buns in, and he never forgets to close the gate behind him. Story number 1. Story number 2. Debbie has long and scruffy hair and never stops thinking about space invaders. Kieran has long and straight hair and big ears, and he is black.
Yeah.
So no habits or interests for Kieran, I'm afraid. Oh, no, wait. Sorry, there's a line like you finished, but actually the next one does have another thing about Kieran. I was wrong. Kieran's interests are Wild West films.
There you go.
Debbie's interests are space invaders and fish and chips. Norman's interests are scoffing buns and elephants.
Hopefully, he's interested in elephants, not scoffing them, right? Should I take that?
No, like scoffing buns and elephants. Tasty elephant. He does have a big mouth. That's what we know about him. He's got a very big mouth. And never forgets to close his elephant gate behind him. Where he keeps his elephants for dinner.
He's got 10. He had 10 elephants. But one day he did leave his gate open, and all his elephants got out.
2 of the elephants went into an elephant shop. One got in a car, but the car didn't survive. All right, this is called The Fair. I went with Dad to the fair on a horse.
Wow. It's a fiction then.
Might be embellishing a little bit there, yeah. It was 15p to get in.
The horse?
It was 15p to get in. There were cloth stalls.
Sounds like a shit fair. We went home.
And all other kinds, like fruit stalls and drink stalls. This is a market, right?
Yeah.
This isn't a fair. This is going to a market to buy cloth and fruit and drink.
This is my dad lying to me saying, we're going to go to a fair, it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah.
But no, it's just the fucking Coville market.
Yeah, Dad, this fair appears to be called Tesco. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Yeah, let's go on the sitting in a trolley ride. That's going to be pretty. Sit in a trolley very quietly ride while I put food in the trolley.
Well, they do always have that one ride at a supermarket, didn't they? Where you put your 20p in and it rocks you back and forwards. And maybe that's the horse I'm referring to.
Yeah, maybe. I bought some silk off a cloth stall for Mum because she collected cloth. Didn't make anything with it. Just like, here you go, bought you some silk, put it in your cupboard.
Mum loved cloth. I always saw her like spraying stuff on it and then wiping windows with it. So I've assumed that my mum really likes cloth.
Yeah, I opened her wardrobe once. It was full of cloth in all different shapes. Yeah, okay. It was nearly night, so I bought a gift for myself. It was a mouse. I bought myself a mouse present.
Because it was night as well. It was almost night.
Yeah. Oh, so I bought a mouse. Happy birthday, me, I said. So it was almost night, so I bought a mouse. In the middle of the fair, there was a big tent. So it's a circus now as well. There was a big tent, and it was called the Court of Pie Powder people.
Wow. Yeah, well, you thought this was a boring story, but it just got good. We're going to the court of pie powder people. No, not pie powder.
Not pie powder people. I'm doing this wrong because there's no punctuation, because you haven't learned that yet, because you're a kid. It's the court of pie. It's the court of pie powder, and then the next line is people went there
To buy pie powder.
No,
to judge pie
people-
powder.
People went there when they had stolen something.
Right, so it's a regular court. Maybe the town is called Pie Powder.
Maybe, yeah. So there's a big tent called the Court of Pie Powder. People went there when they had stolen something. A while ago, somebody got accused,
Yeah.
and I went home for tea.
Fucking interest in people being accused of pie powder crimes. So I went home and had a sandwich.
Yeah.
And that was the end, right?
That was the end, yeah.
So what happened at the end? Somebody went there because they were accused of something, so I had tea.
People went there when they had stolen something. A while ago, somebody got accused, and I went home for tea. I mean, you've still got a lot to learn about pacing, to be fair, but I think you will learn that. Like, having read your other stuff, it very rarely goes. And then the climax of the story happened, and I left.
Yeah, it's really good. It's like I've managed to, it's finally something interesting seems to be happening, and I just leave.
You couldn't be bothered to even really finish the sentence.
Yeah.
You just went, and I went home.
Left halfway through my own sentence and went home for tea. Is what happened there.
All right, so in this story, or in this piece of writing, what I'm guessing happened, I'm not 100% sure, but what I'm guessing happened is maybe your teacher got you to draw a castle, like your ideal castle to live in.
Yeah.
Or something like that, and then said, okay, write about what it would be like to live in, whether you would like to live in this castle or not. And then you've written a version, your teacher's corrected it, and you've written it again. But your teacher has only given you one correction, but it is a major one.
Okay.
Because what you wrote first was, I would not like to live in my castle because it is rubbish. Right. And your teacher, because you've always been very direct, right? Your teacher has scrubbed out rubbish, crossed out rubbish, and changed it to like cold. There is no central heating, and it would cost too much to put it in.
What?
Yeah, that is a big correction. That is a lot of assumptions from a teacher after you wrote rubbish to like basically write your story for you, right?
Yeah.
So then you've rewritten it and to say that I would not like to live in my castle because it is cold. There is no central heating, and it would cost too much to put it in. It has 3 windows and a door. A castle. 3 windows. No, Howard, that's a house. What you're describing is a very small house, possibly a shed.
Yeah.
3 windows on a house
That's
is not
true.
much,
It's more
right?
like a shed because these houses have back doors as well and lots of doors inside. But I think
more than one door.
just-
More than 3 windows, yeah.
My teacher was, I mean, like, if my teacher had bothered reading further than the first sentence, they would have realised that it wouldn't have cost that much to install central heating in my one bedroom shed.
Yeah. Yeah, they should have corrected the word castle. I would not like to live in my shed because it is rubbish.
Yeah, because it is not a castle.
And then the last line is, so we've got, I would not like to live in my castle because it is rubbish. It has 3 windows and a door. It is haunted with spooks, ghosts, and skeletons.
Ah. Well, that's why I don't want to live there, right?
Yeah. It's not because it's cold.
I go on
Your
to
teacher has
I
not
go on
understood.
to explain what I mean by it being
Yeah.
rubbish. It's only got 1 door, 3
do.
windows, and it's full of fucking ghosts.
Yeah, it's a really big castle with only 3 windows, 1 exit. Like it's a fire hazard. Not to mention all the fucking ghosts that are chasing you around. You can't get to the 1 door. And skeletons. It's haunted with skeletons.
Yeah. Shit.
That's terrifying.
My teacher's going, yeah, but what about that central heating, though, Howard? What about that central heating? I don't know what that is, miss.
When you wrote rubbish, because it's got not enough windows, doors, and also skeletons, right, I'm taking that to mean not enough central heating. Is that what you meant? That's what I'm understanding from this. Your problem is too cold, needs central heating, but it's going to be very expensive to put central heating in that shed.
I mean, I think this just gives an insight into my teacher's life.
Yeah. And this one, the title is Comes from Canada, Name Sid. Day 1. Comes by plane to airport. There I'll meet him. I guess you're planning Sid's visit. I'll meet him and take him home. I will take him to Willow Green Park for a picnic and to play on the swings and go on the roller coasters.
Yeah, that definitely does exist. I remember it now.
After that, we will go home and watch Every Which Way But Loose on tape. When that's finished, we will go to bed. Watched Every Which Way But Loose on tape, went bed. Sid came from Canada, went bed. Day 2, got out of bed.
What is it? Just
woke up.
I don't know. It said it was will do this, will do that, will do this, and then day 2 it's like did this.
It is, yeah. You've forgotten what your perspective is. Got out of bed, changed, have breakfast, clean our teeth, and go by bus to London.
Wow.
To see the Muppet Show. This is just a young child's imagination, like running wild, isn't it? Like, what would be a perfect week for you? If someone called Sid came from Canada to visit you and you could do anything in the world, what would you do? Like, I'll go to a park I made up with roller coasters and then go to London to see the Muppet Show, where they probably film it. That American show. So then go by bus to London to see the Muppet Show. Then buy some souvenirs and go home. Just nip down to London from Coville. Just nip down, a couple of hours each way. Go for a boat trip on the river. Night time. Go to watch Biggles at the cinema.
Yeah, it's gonna watch Biggles. Fucking
Biggles?
Biggles.
Biggles was a series of books from like about 50 years before we were born, wasn't it? What the fuck are you on about? Were there any Biggles movies? Was there a famous Biggles movie when we were kids? Did we go and see Biggles movies?
It's a fucking Biggles movie.
Day 3. Go to the seaside for the day.
Wow.
Eat ice creams. Watch Punch and Judy. Right? I tell you what, when I said your imagination was going wild, I think it stopped now. I think you ran out of ideas. Watch Punch and Judy. Go on the pedalos. Play, throw and catch and football swim. Okay, that's a new sentence. Play, throw and catch and football. Swim in the sea and bury things in the sand. Ooh. Things. I found this man. Bury him in the sand. Make sandcastles and bash them down. Then we go home. What do we do when we get home?
Go bed?
Bed.
Okay.
Day 4. We will go to Twycross Zoo to look at the animals. Sid likes the seals and I like the eels.
Ah, thank you.
So a zoo that's got seals and eels. That's our idea of heaven. Go look at those eels in the zoo. Howard, you're thinking of the fish shop. Then we will go home for tea. After tea, we will have a bath and watch TV, then go to bed. That was the least interesting day, unless you are actually talking about having a bath with Sid, and that's really what it's all building up to. I mean, you're going to look at eels first. Going to go to the zoo, look at eels, get in the mood, go home. We're going to see them swimming around like those long things swimming around. And then we're going to go have a bath, look at some more eels, maybe touch them.
Yeah, this one's electric.
Day 5. We will go to the swimming pool to play on the plastic hippos.
What?
And crocodiles that will be in the swimming pool. Now, here's a weird thing. Every one of your teachers were weird, right? Every single one of them. This teacher has made... So in the whole thing, let's have a look. In the whole thing, there are 4 corrections. One of them is correcting the word no, the spelling of the word no, because it should be the verb to know, and you wrote N-O. Mm-hmm. So they've added the K and the W. That's helpful,
very good.
Right?
That's right.
One of them is when you said buy some souvenirs, you wrote buy B-Y, and so they corrected the spelling on that. Yeah, that's good too. Right? Yeah. When you said bury things in the sand, you wrote bury with 2 R's, and so they've crossed out one of the R's. That's useful, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The 4th one, on the other hand, is we will go to the swimming pool to play on the plastic hippos and crocodiles that will be in the swimming pool, and your teacher has written where? Like they wanted to go. Then we will go home to play Monopoly. Because we've had too much fun. We've had too much fun so far, and we need to be bored for a couple of hours. Then we will watch Every Which Way But Loose. And then go to bed. You already did that on day 1. Right? You must have loved that film. You loser. You're just like, oh yeah, a film about a monkey. Fucking amazing. It's got a chimp in it. That's my idea of heaven. It's a film. It's got a chimp in it. That's my idea of heaven. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That and eels. If I can find a movie about a chimp and an eel, I'll never watch another movie ever again. It'll be that every day for the rest of my life. Day 6. Sid's birthday. We will give him a chocky cake in the shape of a seal because he likes seals.
I like eels.
But I don't know if he likes chocolate.
We're about to reveal the big twist that Sid's a dog.
No.
And you're not supposed to give him chocolate.
Then I will take him to Disneyland.
Whoa!
Yeah, well, you really did. You did up the stakes a bit there, didn't you? I wasn't expecting... I didn't think you'd be able to do it because it's been such an exciting week. I'm like, it's his birthday. How can you beat what you've already done? You're like, I'll take him to fucking Florida. And then I will take him to Disneyland. And we will go on the ghost train. Go to Disneyland, go on a ghost train, and maybe the Dodgems. Then we'll do that throwing a dart at the cards thing and maybe win a goldfish at Disneyland.
Yeah, and buy some cloth.
Have you ever been to a Disneyland in your life? No, me neither.
But I feel convinced that you could definitely, there'll be a lot of cloth stalls there. That's my understanding.
Yeah, a lot of tents where they try people for pie powder crimes or whatever. So, hang on, there's more to this sentence. I'm not giving you your fair dues here because there's more to the sentence. It says, I will take him to Disneyland and we will go on the ghost train and the other things.
I can only think of one thing they definitely don't have at Disneyland.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World. If you would like more things to listen to by us, then you should check out our secret gang on Patreon at patreon.com/manbycow, where there is so much stuff that you'll be immediately intimidated by its size. You'll worry that you don't have enough time to listen to this before your inevitable death.
Yeah, a good way to end it. Yeah.
Fucking salesperson. Fucking nailing the selling. Yeah. Bye milk.
Bye milk.
He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer. Yeah.